Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 80 of the 90-day Momentum Challenge. It's day 80. We started on 1st November 2023, and here we are. We're almost in February. Momentum becomes a reality when persistence becomes inevitable. If you make persistence inevitable, momentum has no option but to show up. The beauty of momentum is momentum exaggerates everything. When you have momentum, you look better than you are. When you don't have momentum, you look worse than you are. So momentum exaggerates everything. Momentum is your friend if you have it. Momentum is your enemy if you don't have it. You can show up at work and you do something really nice, but because you don't have momentum, it looks worse than it actually was, which is why some people do average things and then they get so much recognition. The reason is they have momentum at the time they are doing it. So seek momentum. If I was writing a new Bible and I had to add a verse, I would say, seek ye momentum and all things would be added to you, because momentum really, I'm not making trivial of the word, I'm just emphasizing momentum is extremely important. I want us to talk today about the question of vision. And I specifically want us to just talk about this question from the perspective of what do you want? In other words, vision is the destination, is the future that we are moving towards. How do we get there? When you think about your life as a person, you are made up of three components. You are a spirit, you have a body, and then there is this thing in between that we call the soul. And your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Your soul is this connecting energy between your spirit and your body. Your body is, the Bible calls your body a temple of the Holy Spirit. Your spirit lives in your body. The operation between these two is the experience of the soul. You do everything based on will, making yourself do. In other words, the intention of your spirit is translated through your soul to your body so that you make your body go. When you make your body go, it gives you emotions. When you do something that you enjoy, your body has good sensations, so you have good emotions. Then your mind is the recorder of everything, all your memories, all your thoughts, all your imaginations. The mind is the portal through which your spirit communicates to the soul, the rest of your whole soul. And then depending on what kind of consciousness your soul operates in most of the time, determines what behavior shows up in your body. I'm giving you that as a preamble so that we can now address the question of what do you want? And I'm going to give you 4 things I believe summarize what you want. The 4 things that summarize literally everything that you want. And so that if this is clear, then when you think about your most important emotional needs, it gives you clarity as to whether or not you are meeting these 4 core needs. Here's where I will start from. What is the natural inclination of every human being? You and I, what is our natural inclination? Our natural inclination is ambition. I like using an avocado tree as an example in this group. Once an avocado tree germinates, once it becomes a seedling, it is automatically engineered to grow. You and I, we are almost captive to the energy of ambition. In other words, our life force is naturally inclined towards us wanting to go the journey, wanting to stretch. When you stifle that energy, anytime you stifle the energy of ambition, and because ambition has been made to sound like something evil, ambition is not evil. It's a natural inclination. When a baby is born, what is their first inclination? To have some kind of movement. That initial movement leads up to crawling, leads up to walking, leads up to running. Nobody teaches the baby that they need to do those things. This is the natural inclination, ambition to stretch and do the next thing. If I were an intelligent baby and I started walking once and I fell, I may want to stop, never would try to walk again, right? Intelligent babies, because intelligent adults start pursuing goals, they fail and they stop. So intelligent babies too should start walking, and when they fall, they stop. But they can't stop. And the reason the baby can't stop, the baby is wired with this intrinsic desire to be, the intrinsic drive for ambition. This is natural, the essential natural inclination, natural wiring. Now, our ambition becomes productive in a sustainable way when we use it to meet our four core needs. And these are the 4 core needs. The first one is deep aliveness. The first thing you need, the first thing you want is deep aliveness. Why do you think people look so happy after they have gone out to watch a game? Maybe they were cheering a soccer team or athletics team or gymnastics. Why do you think people come out looking so vibrant, sounding so verbose and talking a lot? It's because they experience an intense aliveness during that time. Why do you think people go clubbing? People go clubbing because this is an environment which they have the permission to actually feel alive. Just look at any experience that ends up becoming addictive to people. Most experiences that end up becoming addictive, for example, drinking or using substances, or even intimate encounters that become, whether or not they're illicit or not. Anything that makes you feel really, really alive is going to meet a need within you that sometimes people are willing to break all boundaries, all protocol to meet that experience. We miss a lot of life when we just go through the day, but we don't feel the day. We go through the year, but we don't feel the year. Where we are showing up almost half asleep throughout most of the year. We are in a meeting, but we are not showing up in that meeting. We are not feeling it. We are having a conversation in the family, or we're even speaking to a client, or trying to teach, maybe it's our child or our cousin, something, but we do not feel it. What would happen if anytime you showed up for important meetings, important encounters, you actually felt fully alive? And I don't even know how to express that to you, but I hope that you get the sense of what it feels to really be alive. You are breathing in a centered way. You are not distracted, and you actually feel it. Those of you who have been part of the challenge, and over the last couple of weeks, you were doing that process of 15-5-15, which forces you to look back over your day, you will realize something, that we have a tendency, our mind has a tendency to register what goes wrong. But the reality is that every single day, there is probably 95 to 98% of things that go right, except they go right, but they pass by. We do not feel them. We do not notice them. We do not anticipate those things. You walk into a meeting and 3 people smiled at you, but there was one person who didn't smile at you. That's the person that you noticed. What would it take? This is a question for you. What would it take in 2024 for you to go through day by day feeling more alive? What would it take for you to start experiencing the power and energy of your soul beyond just the mind, where you are aware of your emotions, you are asserting your will intentionally? What would it take this year for you to be really present? For example, when you're in this meeting, you are actually present in this meeting, and that you are aware, you are consciously present and aware of your life and absorbing what is going on. Because when we don't do that, automatically our mind, if we just let our mind all by itself run around, our mind is sharp like a knife. It is meant to cut through and dissect, which is why when people gather together, what is the most likely thing that is going to happen? They are going to gossip. Why? Because they're using a mind. What is the mind? It's a sharp instrument. What is its purpose? Cut through things, right? Cut through and subdivide. Even the Bible says the mind is like, the word is like a sword. It has 2 edges. The mind operates in the same way. I want you to write down, what 3 things could you do on a day-to-day basis that will help you feel more alive? What 3 things could you do on a day-to-day basis that could help you feel more alive? What 3 things could you do on a consistent basis, day to day, that will help you feel more alive? The second need, remember we are talking about what do you want. The second thing that you really want and need is a deep sense of connection. A deep sense of connection. There is no more powerful force in a human being's life than the desire for belonging, to love and be loved, to accept and be accepted, to know that there is someone who sees you and accepts you as you are. This is an indispensable need. In fact, sometimes we sabotage ourselves for the purpose of maintaining this sense of connection. Unfortunately, you and I now live in the age of social media, which can present to you a false sense of connection, because right now where you are seated, you can reach up to 10,000 people really easily. If you go on Instagram and post something, on Facebook and post something, and on TikTok and post something, and YouTube and post something right now, you can reach these people, and it gives a false sense of connection. Have you seen any examples, for example, where, let's say, one of your friends has a family member who is unwell, and they post, like they need fundraising, The post they posted before about going to a vacation had 200 likes. The post about contribution probably has like maybe 5 or 10 likes, and among those, only a few of those people will contribute. We live in the age of social media where it gives us a false sense of connection. And as a result, we can end up spending more time on social media and checking in on social media more frequently than we check in on the people that really matter to us. If you're married and you have children, or you're even engaged, you have crucial, important people in your life. In the course of the day, what if you could be connected just 10% of how connected you are to social media? Just let social media, let that be. But now let's improve this from where it is to just 10% of this one or two specific people that you are truly connected to. The day you were born, your survival depended 100% on you establishing a one-on-one connection with a primary caregiver. One-on-one connection with a primary caregiver. Children that end up emaciated, they get emaciated primarily not because of food. It's mostly because of there is no secure attachment with one person. So from the word go, you are wired to seek eye connection on a regular basis with this one person. If it was your mother, I hope that for as many of you as possible, it was your mother, then that became the primary. Everybody else will be contributing. But this person, if this person is not around you, you would be very distressed. That never goes away. It never goes away. It's, if anything, it gets deeper. Connection. Your aliveness, feeling alive, is for your body, but connection is for your heart. It's for your emotions. This is for the center, the core of your soul. Deep connection. So the first is deep aliveness for your body. And whatever you wrote down, if it didn't involve you moving your body, then you are not going to achieve aliveness. The second is connection, deep connection. This relates to your soul, to your heart, to how you experience and utilize your emotions. The third need that you have, third profound, indispensable need that has to be met, is the need for deep meaning. Deep meaning. There are weeks, if you are like me, there are weeks when you find yourself really busy throughout the week, but at the end of the week, you just feel tired and you don't know why. You are busy, you are doing several things, you did this and you did that and you did that and you did that. Most of the time, it is because you are doing a lot, but none of all these things you did particularly means something deeply to you. Deep meaning. There's a movie that is called, a movie and a book called The Pursuit of Happiness. The Pursuit of Happiness. But I think our joy and our fulfillment comes from the happiness of pursuit. The happiness of pursuit. The happiness of pursuit of a meaningful purpose. The happiness of pursuit of meaningful projects. The happiness of pursuit of meaningful growth. Deep meaning. Experiencing and enjoying a depth of meaning because you are in pursuit of. There is no amount of money that you will get today that will take away that meaning, that desire for deep meaning. Having that thing that you are doing that you know that you will continue to learn, you feel that you're making progress, deep meaning, happiness in the pursuit of a meaningful project, a meaningful activity, whether it involves other people or not. Deep meaning. When you combine a deep sense of aliveness, a deep sense of connection, and a deep sense of meaning, if you are achieving all the three together, you are not only alive in your body and strong and secure and centered, but you are also automatically meeting the next one. Your aliveness is for your body. Your connection is that centers right direct to your soul. Meaning goes to the one tool that's one component of your soul. Remember, your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. Meaning goes to the center of your mind. And as long as your mind is not engaged in something deeply meaningful, it's going to find a way to be busy. When your mind has something meaningful at hand, it's kind of almost quenched. If it doesn't, it's going to find some engagement. Somebody said that an idle mind is the angel's workshop. Is that correct? Right? An idle mind finds something to do. It's either going to find something to do by itself, or you are going to give it something to do. Deep sense of aliveness, a deep sense of connection, a deep sense of meaning, the happiness of pursuit, that joy, that energy that gets generated because you're pursuing. Those three together, they help you meet the next one. And that is a deep sense of growth. It's a deep sense. I don't even know how to explain it, but I would say without a doubt that over the last 6 years, this is when I have really, truly experienced what that sense of growth really means. And particularly the growth that comes from attempting, persisting in, and achieving something difficult. And here's the paradox of life. It takes the same amount of energy, it causes the same amount of anxiety to attempt a small project as a big one. It causes you the same amount of anxiety when you're running towards a deadline of a big project or a small project. Those final 10 seconds before you click submit, it feels exactly the same. It doesn't matter whether it's a big project or a small one. But the difference in terms of the sense of growth you get from achieving something difficult, the amount of pride you're able to enjoy, the level of confidence you show up with, the way even your walking style can change slightly and you start bouncing a little bit, it's unbelievable. I will tell you that I competed in the international speech contest in Toastmasters and went to a really, really, really high level. But I will tell you that my highest joy was not going all the way to the international level. It was the day I did my icebreaker, my first speech in Toastmasters. That's because even if I didn't end up saying necessarily anything meaningful, I got out of the seat and I walked to the front. And my skin started sweating in places I didn't know that it can sweat. And I stood at the front for for 6 minutes and finished and came back and sat down. It was terribly hard. But I remember the joy I felt when I went home. I was like, if I have been able to do this first one, I'm going to do the next one. And because I did the first one, I could go and compete with other people from other countries. If I didn't do the first one, I would never have been able to do that. A deep sense of growth. Are you willing this year to find a sense of growth from going for something bold? Are you ready for this year to allow your mind to center on a meaningful goal, a big enough problem? Let KPLC give you power when they want and when they don't. If that becomes one of your problems, you are wasting your energy and your attention. How do we move you this year to focusing on something important? Because the growth you will experience will be worth everything. So to recap, you and I are automatically wired to experience and express ambition. If we are not deliberate to use the energy, that inclination for ambition to do important things, we are going to waste it doing all sorts of things. You can become ambitious in having more Facebook friends than all your friends around you, and it will feel like you're making progress. But that will not serve you. So ambition is natural. That is at the essence of human nature, the way you are wired. Ambition is automatic. How can we make your ambition meaningful? We make your ambition meaningful by using it to seek the 4 things that will give you a more fulfilling life, a deep sense of aliveness. In other words, finding ways to use your body in a manner that creates, generates, or amplifies the energy in your life, so that wherever you go, whatever you need to do, when you arrive, you actually arrive. It's not as though you've arrived, but part of your body is still in bed. You are present, you are arrived, you've arrived, rather, you feel it. A deep sense of connection, where the important relationships that you have, when you are present in those relationships, even the people the other side, they feel it. When you leave, they say you are here. It's not like, oh, you passed by. No, you are here. You are here, and they could feel it. Even when the kids around know that uncle is coming to see mom, like, uncle was here, right? Uncle was here. Uncle was here. It's not like, oh, uncle came and he was there with mom. It's when you're present, and it takes intentionality. And that is what is going to change my experience and change your experience of this year. The third one is the deep sense of meaning. And remember, the happiness of pursuit is not the pursuit of happiness. You find the happiness in showing up and doing the important things that you have to do in your life, and doing them with a sense of joy, a sense of commitment, a sense of willingness to learn from what you are doing. And of course, finally, a deep sense of growth. And you only get that by doing something that stretches you. If you don't do things that stretch you, if you're doing superficial things, if you're not getting deep into something meaningful, your mind is going to find a way to be engaged somewhere else. How do we make this the automatic way for us to be this year? When you put all these 4 things together, then you automatically begin to release your spiritual energy, and the inclination of your spiritual energy is to contribution. So your growth empowers you to be able to contribute something meaningful. If you don't grow, you have nothing to offer. Or even if you have something to offer, it's not been matured. It's not been refined through experience. It is not ready every day. Because sometimes we have something to contribute, but we are only able and willing to contribute maybe once or twice or 3 times a month. But if you are experiencing a deep sense of aliveness, a deep sense of connection, you're experiencing a deep sense of meaning every single day, and experiencing growth, meaningful growth from doing things that stretch you, you will be ready every single day, wherever you are. You are ready to contribute. You may not be able to contribute money, which I believe is the cheapest thing, but you'll be able to contribute your presence, contribute your insights, contribute your confidence. Sometimes when a confident person shows up in a room where a problem is being solved, the solutions start appearing just because this confident person is present, even if they're not saying anything. You can raise the energy of any room you walk into if you are ready, every single day to contribute, because you are truly alive, you are connected. When you're present, you are present. You are interested in deep, true, authentic meaning, and that you are experiencing growth on a continuous basis. I think one of the saddest things is for somebody who saw you 15 years ago to meet you today, and they walk away with the sensation that you are just the same person they met 15 years ago, except you're just a little bit older now. That's a difficult thing to think about, but it's something that we have to think about. The saddest thing would be for somebody who met you 10 years ago to meet you today, and all they see is that you've become a little bit older. Maybe you've gained a little bit more weight, or maybe they do not see, they do not perceive the growth. Let 2024 be the year when you can change that. A deep sense of aliveness, a deep sense of connection, a deep sense of meaning, a deep sense of growth. We direct our ambition to achieve these things so that they can empower us to be ready every single day to contribute the energy of our spirit and elevate the level of any room you walk into. You walk into that room and the EQ, emotional intelligence, and IQ of that room goes up. Even if it goes up by 0.1%, who knows? That might be what they need for the next level. So that when you show up in that family among your siblings, just because you showed up, the level of conversation goes up because you have arrived. That's my challenge to you this year. And that was day 80 of the 90-day momentum challenge.